Chapter 3. The Redcap's Boots. Sang and Fenric reached the western edge of the Sorrowpine Forest as planned. By Hollow standards, it was true night, the hour when even creatures of darkness finally surrendered to rest. The village lay ahead, about 300 feet from the tree line to the gate. Unless someone was actively searching, the two of them were safely hidden in the shadows. Fenric shot Sang an expectant look.
Yes, I know. Transform.
Sang muttered with a sigh. He summoned the gift of the vampire within him, letting his features shift. His eyebrows thickened, his hair shortened, his waist broadened. Minor alterations, nothing that changed his nature, only the surface. When he finished, he glanced at Fenric.
That better?
Fenric snorted.
You look like you're ready to settle down on a farmstead.
He chuckled.
Oh, put a cork in it, you old curmudgeon.
Sang shot back.
We shouldn't go in together. They might get suspicious.
Fenric raised both eyebrows.
Why, my prince? Something of value rattling around in that head of yours besides thoughts of swooning maidens?
His sarcasm was thick enough to cut.
I thought you were supposed to be the serious one.
Sang retorted.
Ha!
Fenric sputtered.
I'm the good-looking one. And besides, I am serious. Serious about adding some humility to that repertoire of yours. In any case, I'll head in first. Wait 10 minutes, then go to the tavern. Don't sit with me. Sit alone, if you can. We'll see what we can see.
All right.
Sang said.
How do we meet back up?
Things will quiet down as the night goes on. Just watch for when I leave.
Fenric answered softly and shot a glance at Sang, his eyes asking if he was ready.
Okay, let's get started.
Sang said confidently and motioned for Fenric to go. Fenric slipped into the darkness, moving with the silent confidence of a seasoned hunter. Sang tracked him with vampiric vision all the way to the village gates. Fenric's heartbeat never even quickened. The man was a stone. A twig snapped behind Sang. He spun, senses sharpening. He listened, inhaled, scanned the shadows. Nothing, just the forest breathing. He dismissed it and headed toward the gate. As he approached, a deep voice boomed from atop the palisade.
Halt!
Sang looked up to see a minotaur guard, half man, half bull, clad in a steel breastplate. The lower half of his body was hidden behind the wooden wall, only his upper torso visible above the standing platform.
Who goes there?
Me?
Sang croaked in his best old man voice.
Just a weary werewolf seeking refuge. I heard this place is a safe haven for my kind.
You heard correctly.
The minotaur snorted.
Though the hour is late, old-timer, you really should have came at a better hour.
He sighed and muttered under his breath.
Any monsterkin who seeks refuge, stupid vow you may enter. I'd recommend the Redcap's boots for the night. And don't let me catch you causing any trouble, old fellow.
Sang almost replied with something sharp, but thought better of it. He bowed his head instead.
Thank you, good Minotaur. I won't forget your kindness.
The great wooden doors groaned open. Sang, still playing the part of the elderly traveler, hobbled inside. The Minotaur watched him for a moment, then lost interest. Sang knew his way around the village well enough. He had visited Crimson Hollow many times over the last century, though he rarely had the freedom to explore it. Still, he remembered the basics. Stay on the main road, follow it to the town square, then hang a left to reach the redcap's boots. The night air was cold and damp, a faint breeze drifting in from the west. It didn't affect Sang. His blood had long since gone cold, but he noticed how the wind teased the flickering lanterns and torches set in sconces and braziers throughout the village. The buildings were beautifully crafted, rustic in shape, yet touched with Gothic flair. Gargoyle statues perched on roof steeples, watching silently over the differently shaped homes and businesses. For a quaint little village filled with some of the deadliest creatures in the world, Crimson Hollow was strangely charming and vibrant with life. Fireflies drifted lazily through the streets. Enchanted, glowing crystals hung from wooden, square-shaped poles placed strategically around the village, giving the place a clandestine feel. Sang never fully understood their purpose, but he assumed anonymity was part of Crimson Hollow's survival. The crystals seemed to absorb more light than they gave off, yet to his eyes they glowed a deep, almost velvety purple. He sniffed the night air, not out of necessity but habit. Even without breath, scent was a useful tool for sensing danger. The aroma of freshly cooked meats drifted from the redcap's boots. He wasn't far now. His gaze swept the streets, checking for anyone paying too much attention to him. Few creatures were out tonight. A banshee wailed somewhere in the distance. A giant bat circled above the lone cathedral, its stained glass windows flickering with candlelight. A gremlin sat on a finely crafted bench near the town square, counting what looked suspiciously like teeth. Everything seemed peaceful. Finally, Sang spotted the tavern sign, the Redcap's Boots. Smoke curled from the chimney, carrying warm, savory scents into the night. He hobbled toward the black oak door and eased it open. A small bell chimed overhead, alerting the crowd that a newcomer had arrived. Several patrons glanced his way. One of them, a massive man whose flesh looked stitched together, stared longest. He had one green human eye and another that glowed orange with unmistakable magic. His hair was a thick, spiked blaze of red, and his physique was that of a carved statue, solid, powerful, immovable. Sang recognized him immediately. Victor, the flesh crafter, the finest in town. A creation of a mad doctor long ago, Victor now crafted golems for the highest bidder. They weren't intelligent, but they were obedient to whoever held the binding rune. Sang knew him through his father's dealings. The king had purchased several of Victor's creations as royal guards. Victor, in acknowledgement, then returned to nursing a putrid-looking drink that sloshed thickly in his mug. Sang continued playing the part of the older man as he limped toward the bar. There, he spotted Romulus, unmistakably a redcap. Few creatures earn their name so literally. Most soaked their caps in the blood of their victims. But Romulus was different. He didn't revel in murder or cruelty. He preferred intrigue, games, and hospitality. In Crimson Hollow, if you needed rumors or whispers drifting through town, he was the gentleman to seek. Sang spoke in a strained, wavering voice.
Excuse me, good sir. I was wondering if you could help an old werewolf with...
He paused, feigning confusion like a senile elder.
with lodgings and information. Yes, that's the one.
Romulus looked up from drying a mug and flashed a wide, toothy grin. Rows of razor-sharp, shark-like teeth glinting in the firelight.
For the right price, old fella, I can get you almost anything you want.
His accent was strange, as if from another realm, shrill and dripping with arrogance, but still understandable.
What's the right price?
Sang asked, keeping his composure.
What's the question?
Romulus shot back dryly.
I was traveling along the border of the Vale and noticed ripples in the magic. Any rumors about that?
Sang asked, trying to sound indifferent.
Why does that matter to an outsider?
Romulus narrowed his eyes suspiciously.
How do you know I'm an outsider?
Sang countered.
Listen, old-timer.
Romulus said, setting the mug aside.
I trade in information and drinks. It's my business to know every soul that walks through this town. I sell them ale, and once they're drunk enough, they spill their secrets. I've never seen you around here before. And come to think of it, you haven't even given me your name.
Romulus poured a mug of ale for a nearby lycanthrope patron, a were-rat in hybrid form, who accepted it gratefully before returning to his table. Sang, caught off guard, had to invent a name on the spot.
Danderwolf,
he blurted.
Danderwolf?
Romulus snorted.
What kind of name is that?
the only one I've got.
Sang retorted, a bit more sharply than he intended.
Well, Danderwolf,
The redcap said with heavy sarcasm.
I've heard such rumors, but it's gonna cost you.
Before Romulus could even set terms, Sang was already pulling a handful of gemstones from his pouch, a small fortune. He was about to hand them over when a sharp throat clearing sounded beside him. It was Fenric. He stood there, silver eyes narrowed, glaring at the redcap with open disdain.
Taking advantage of new townsfolk again, are we, Romulus?
Fenric growled. The redcap paled for a moment before regaining his composure.
I ain't doing nothing wrong, Fen. Why don't you mind your business?
Fenric stepped closer, voice low and dangerous.
Protecting the citizens of Crimson Hollow is my business, you slimy cur. A fact you do well to remember.
Romulus began to sweat.
All right, Fen. I didn't mean anything by it. I was just trying to earn a little extra coin. This old fella wanted some information, that's all.
That's all, huh?
Fenric snorted. He turned to Sang. He shot him a quick wink.
Listen, old-timer. You've got to be careful dealing with vagabonds like Romulus. He'll bleed you dry.
Then he shot the redcap a murderous glare.
Give him a fair price, you hear? If I hear otherwise, I'll finish the job I should have done a millennia ago.
With that, Fenric grabbed his drink and returned to his table. Sang stood there, unsure how to proceed. Romulus and leaned in.
Listen, you give me one of those pretty rubies, and I'll set you up with a room for the night and all the information you could want. What do you say?
Sang smiled and nodded.
Sounds great, kind sir.
Sang pulled a single ruby from his pouch and dropped it into Romulus's waiting hands. The redcap licked his lips and lifted the gem toward the lantern light, admiring the way its facets scattered crimson sparks across his face.
All right,
He muttered.
what was it you wanted to know? Oh yes, occurrences by the Vale.
He cleared his throat.
Rumor has it that 3 nights ago, old Stitch over there saw a distorted outline of something human staring at him through the veil. Don't ask me what he was doing out by the border himself, but either way, he swears the figure was pointing at him. That's one of the rumors.
Romulus leaned closer.
The other tidbit is that the Archmagi's spellbook went missing a week ago. He's posted a reward for any information. A hefty sum, too.
Archmagi Zane?
Sang asked, perhaps revealing more knowledge than an outsider would know.
The very same.
Romulus declared, eyeing Sang suspiciously again for his slip of the tongue. He lowered his voice conspiratorially.
Some think it's a plot by those blasted zealots. What were they called?
He scratched his pointed chin.
Oh yes, the Children of the One. Poppycock, if you ask me.
Sang glanced around to ensure no one was listening.
Why's that?
Well,
Romulus said, licking his lips again.
why would the very deity who sent the being that blessed our village try to start an uprising against the Archmagi, and by proxy, the king? No. I think some other party is at play here.
Any idea who that may be?
Sang asked, trying not to sound too eager.
No. If I did, I'd have fetched that book myself and collected the reward.
Romulus shrugged.
In any case, I'm not sure why, an outsider and I say that skeptically, would want to know these things. You some kind of investigator?
You could say it's something like that.
Sang replied.
Thank you for your...
A sharp sting struck the side of his head. A gold coin clattered onto the counter. Sang looked up to see Fenric lowering his hand, having flicked the coin at him as discreetly as possible. The captain nodded toward the window. Sang followed his gaze and froze. Outside the tavern stood a creature unlike any other in Crimson Hollow. Sang recognized him instantly. Visio, a watcher. A creature of legend, known for seeing through any disguise, any illusion, any lie. As tall as a horse, Visio's lower body was a scaled quadrupedal form with long clawed limbs. His upper torso bore 2 powerful arms ending in razor-sharp talons, also scaled. But it was his head that made him truly terrifying. A long serpentine neck, 3 feet at least, ending in a spherical head dominated by a single enormous serpentine eye. Beneath it, a fanged snake-like mouth flicked a forked tongue with every word he spoke. Visio patrolled the village, always watching, always protecting. Sang wasn't worried about being attacked, but he was worried the Watcher would see through his disguise. And his father had made it clear, no one could know who he truly was. Without hesitation, Sang turned to Romulus.
You said you had a room for me. Can I get that now?
Romulus adjusted his jerkin and pulled out a copper key.
Sure do, old-timer. Now that
But Sang didn't wait. He bolted toward the stairs with vampiric speed, nearly knocking over a drunk goblin on the way. He bounded up the steps with silent dexterity and began testing keys on the doors. Below, Visio entered the tavern. His gaze swept the room with predatory precision. Sang heard patrons greet him warmly. The first door, locked. The second, locked. The key wouldn't fit. At the third door, the key slid in perfectly. Sang turned it slowly. every tiny click sounding to him like a thunderclap. He slipped inside and shut the door behind him, exhaling in relief.
That was a close one.
He muttered, no longer faking the old man voice. He pressed his ear to the door. Below, he could hear Fenric and Vizio bantering about who was more overworked. Everything seemed normal. Sang was safe, for now. He moved toward the bed, ready to rest, when a rock suddenly crashed through the open window. It slammed into the opposite wall and clattered to the floor.
What in the actual hell?
Sang hissed. He rushed to the window, but saw nothing unusual, just the night sky, chimney smoke, lantern light, and the occasional passerby.
Okay.
He muttered. He picked up the rock and noticed a string tied around it, fastening a crumpled piece of parchment. Carefully, he untied it and unfolded the note. The handwriting was hurried and uneven. If you want to know more about the disturbances, meet me behind the Twin Stars Apothecary in 1 hour. Come alone. Sang sighed and rubbed his temples.
Why do they always want you to come alone?
He said dryly. He folded the note and tucked it into his coat's inner pocket. Then he grabbed a quill and parchment from the nightstand and left a message for Fenric, letting him know where he was going.
Well, time to find another piece of the puzzle,
He said aloud, dripping with sarcasm.